I'm Muffin, and I star in today's main feature, Last of the Wild. We have a wicked, bogus show for you tonight. And don't forget, there's a live call-in segment at the end of the show. There. I said it. Now, can I go in the backyard and take...
Captured in a world of nothing, where everyone wants you to dance for them. Why do you feel this obligation? Why do you continue with this procrastination? Encircled by invisible beams, carrying you to a faraway land where nothing exists and nothing makes you laugh, and nothing just might be your reward for nothing. Climbing up from the valley of indecision and many rocks climbed, you find yourself weeping at all who look at you. Please don't cry. Please don't Jumping, for once you've reached the top, jumping for joy, you'll never stop. You've reached past your delusions and your materialistic confusions, at utopian peace with who and what you are. dying in a world of nothing, where everyone wants immortality. You think your children are your blood and your legacy, but your children won't grow up the way you want them to be. Nothing is left. Nothing.
Change. I didn't ask for no money. I asked for change. Giving me a handout don't necessarily help me. For instance, that lady just gave me a buck. Now I can go buy some cheap wine. But with that same buck, she could have bought 4 of these. She could have sent a letter to the mayor, another one to her representative, a third to her senator, even a letter to the governor. She could have started by saying that she was disgusted with the sad state of the homeless here in Boston, that she'd like to see more legislation towards affordable housing and detox centers, that she'd even like to vote on a bill that would make it illegal to panhandle or even to give money to street people. And finally, She could threaten to vote against every one of those jerks, no matter what other issues exist, if they don't do something about this problem. Look, I'm just asking for change. By using your head, you can help solve this problem. Or you can just try and stick a Band-Aid on it. Change. Change.
to the chasm gaping we. Mirrors multi-reflecting this between sponge-stained sheet and odorous whim. Camera eye flicks started within, assist me to walk away in sin. Where is the string that Theseus laid? Find me out this labyrinth land. Go taste the cards and eat my lunch. Across my slender, thin and lean, in this solemn place of filled wedding dreams. A black matted lace, a pregnant cow has lashed my silence to my brow. The card is loaded, index turning to my finely cabinet.
Hi, I'm Anne Margaret Corkum, and this is the live segment of the show Bogus Weirdness. This is the time for you, the audience, to call in and let us hear about your feelings and thoughts about the videos you've just viewed. Tonight we have a special guest, Jaya Drats. He is the producer of Bogus Weirdness, and tonight he's going to tell us all about it. Hi Jaya, how are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Fine. If you could tell the audience one thing about Bogus Weirdness, what would it be?
Well, there's actually a number of things. I guess the most important thing is why I'm doing Bogus Weirdness. The Winthrop Art Association has some pretty interesting shows where they show slides, basically slides of visual art that people have created, although they've actually had things like dolls or all kinds of forms of art, but mostly visual art. And I thought that was really neat because I thought it gave the regular kind of Winthropite the opportunity to see some art that they usually wouldn't get a chance to see. You have a huge senior citizen population here in Winthrop, and you also have a lot of kids, and they don't have the opportunity to go into town and see a lot of the stuff that's there. So I thought that it would be good to have an art show so people could see more art, and I create all forms of art, all forms of multimedia art, so I thought that it would be a good idea to have a show where I could produce some videos and also give other producers the opportunity to, well, basically show their work, especially non-traditional work. I mean, if you want to see a musical, you can go to the Playmakers, and they do really good musicals there, as well as a lot, the high school plays and stuff like that. But here I'm trying to do something a little bit more experimental and experiment with the medium of video. It's pretty new, TV's pretty new, and so basically I'm interested in experimenting, and that's the main reason I'm doing the show. So
could anybody join if they wanted to?
Sure. As a matter of fact, I'm begging for producers right now. I need producers really badly because to do the show once a month is going to be really difficult if I don't have producers contributing. So, like I said, I'm looking for non-traditional work, experimental work, more than traditional stuff. Although even traditional stuff I'll be interested in, it just depends how it's done. I need, not only do I need producers, but I need artistic talent as well. If there's anyone out there who's a musician or theater person, a video producer, does animation, anything like that, and they're interested in having their art seen, this is a great opportunity. Not only am I going to be showing it on WCAT, but I'm also working on syndicating it to Arlington and Cambridge, Somerville, Brookline, all over the place, Boston, and trying to get people's stuff shown, trying to get my own stuff shown, of course, and trying to get other people's stuff out on the airwaves and get their art out to an audience that would otherwise be inaccessible.
Well, that sounds great. Why don't we go right to the videos that were viewed tonight. The first one was called Nothing. Could you explain to me the words, Dying in a world of nothing where everyone wants immortality? What message is this video sending out?
Well, that whole video is pretty complex, you know. What came first out of that whole project was the poem. And I wrote that poem like a couple of years ago, and basically it's talking about the restrictions that we have in our culture, or in any culture for that matter, that there's certain things that can be done and can't be done, that are accepted, that aren't accepted. In our culture, people don't want to grow old and die, and you can say that that's true in other cultures, but it's really important in our culture. People do everything. They get facelifts and nose jobs and tummy tucks and whatever else they can get to, and they're doing whatever they can to prolong their life and to stay, you know, to be immortal. And in that one segment, I'm also talking about the concept of people kind of living vicariously through their children. They have children so that they can live on forever. Not everyone does that, of course, but there are people who do that, and I don't think that's really the right reason to have kids or anything like that. And so basically, it's hard to take that line out of context, out of the rest of the poem, and it's also difficult for me to articulate what the poem means beyond what it says. I mean, to you might get something totally different out of that than I intended. I mean, even for me, it's difficult for me to say exactly what I intended. You know, it's tough.
I understand. So in other words, in some parts of the segment, we see a man in town walking around and he's crying and he's pulling on his tie. What were you trying to get across there?
Right there, what I wanted to show is someone who was having a breakdown, and just something like to the effect that he's a businessman, I don't even mean to be saying like a businessman, he's in the society, he's like part of our society, and what happens basically is he like doesn't feel like he fits, or he's confused about what's going on about his surroundings. He can't relate to anything that he sees, and he breaks down. And what he ends up doing is eventually he walks away from. That's what's symbolized in him walking away. Is he walks away from the camera, and he throws his briefcase, into the trash, and he rejects the concept of being a part of that society.
Okay, thank you. We have a call right now. Let's see. Hello, this is Bogus Weirdness.
Hello?
Hi, you're on Bogus Weirdness. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm calling about the video about the homeless people.
Uh-huh.
And I thought it was very clever. I really like the idea a lot. But personally, I think that it's a little naive to think that just writing a letter will have an effect. Do you think that it would really make a difference? And why do you think that giving homeless people money is wrong?
Okay. First of all, I think it would make a big difference. Right now, the homelessness issue isn't much of an issue. We're hearing a lot about the problems on Beacon Hill as far as the deficit goes, and you know, we're hearing about the abortion issue, even though that's been toned down a little bit. It's starting to pick up some more momentum right now. We're hearing a lot about the CLT petition, and I think the reason it's not as much of an issue right now is because there's not a lot of people making it an issue. And I think that if 1,000 people wrote letters to anyone, one of our representatives, to JC or to Lepresti or to Kiri or to Dukakis or anything like that, 1,000 letters saying that they were disgusted with the sad state of the homeless in Boston is going to have an impact. It's going to make people say to themselves, it's going to make legislators say to themselves, wow, this is actually becoming a topic. This is something that people care about. And if they're not getting any letters about it, then that doesn't say that there are people out there who actually care about it. So I think it would make a big difference. And secondly, as far as why I think it's wrong to give money to homeless people, I've read a lot of information about that, and it turns out that anywhere from 90 to 95% of people who are homeless, this is an estimate, have some kind of drug addiction. And also, over 70% of those people who are homeless have some kind of psychological malfunction. So to give these people money, you're just prolonging the state that they're in. They're kind of in this state of limbo where they're addicted to some form of drug, mostly alcohol, but it could be crack or something else to that effect, and they can't get off of it. And by you just giving them $1, what are they going to do with that $1? They might go buy food once in a while, but mainly I believe that they're buying more drugs, which keep them going in this state of what I just call limbo. I mean, they can't get out of their problem, and I think if you stop giving them money, you're going to create a situation there too. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Okay. I also, if you don't mind, I'd like to explain the whole concept behind having a live segment
Sure, go
on the
ahead.
show. I mean, I'm glad we just got a call there. I think that television is really passive. Out of all the art forms that there's ever been throughout history, you have to go there and see it live, and you can applaud. Even in the movies, people applaud sometimes. I usually don't applaud, but a lot of people applaud during the movie. And they're watching the movie with a crowd of other people, so they can relate to human beings and how they're responding to what they're seeing. TV, especially when you're watching it at home by yourself, is such a passive medium. It comes through your set to you, and there's no way to really respond to it. And when you turn it off, if there's not like another person there that you can talk to about the topic, like say for example you're watching the news, if you turn it off and then you talk about the news, talk about what you've just seen, then that's one thing. But if you don't, I think you lose a lot of that. And I felt that by having a live segment, we could engage the audience a little bit more, engage the audience a little bit more by having them watch the show and know that they're going to be able to call in afterwards, make a comment, talk about what they just seen. What's really important is when you watch a TV show, you can't like call up the producer and say, that was the worst episode of The Love Boat I've ever seen in my life, right? You can't do that.
Yes.
And with this show you can, and what's an advantage about being in such a small town as Winthrop is chances are your call is going to get through. And so you can give the artists feedback, and you can also kind of
Sends out your point of view.
Yeah, and get your point of view across.
Okay, we have another call. Let's check it out. Hi, this is Bogus Weirdness. Go ahead.
Hello? Was that line 1? Hello?
Hello?
Hi, how you doing?
How you doing, James?
Good.
How are you?
Great.
I think your dog stole the show.
Yeah, Muffin is a very talented dog.
Oh, and thank you for showing my house. He went up to the gate and Lewis Lake and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would you do with the buck you had?
With the what?
The dolly you had.
Well, I spent it all in one place.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it up. You got a nice show.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Frank Gigliello. He's my landlord. And we shot The Last of the Wild all at that house. The scenes inside the house and the scenes that go to the backyard and go to Lewis Lake and the shot of Muffin running under the fence were all shot there. And so that's what he was referring to. That was actually shot on Super 8 film as opposed to video. That's why it had that real grainy quality. And that was before I was a producer at WCAT. And it was shot in the summer of '89. It was shot over a year ago in August. And I actually premiered it last December. I think it was December 9th. Had a big party over my house, and we showed the film. And
Where did you get the idea of creating The Last of the Wild?
Well, basically it came from a book I read. I read The Call of the Wild by Jack London last summer, and I thought it was a really great book. I read a lot of older books like that. I just finished reading Treasure Island recently. I haven't come up with any kind of pirate script yet. But Last of the Wild, I thought it was really great, and I decided that it would be interesting to update it, and instead of using a big, strong dog like Buck was in Call of the Wild, I could use Muffin as Muck and use a little dog. And I knew that would add a comedic element to it. But what really inspired me to do it was just the writing of Jack London. I thought that it was really interesting. He was making a statement, to me at least, what I got out of it, he was making a statement about freedom, about any human being or any creature. I mean, I see it on that scale. I think he wasn't just talking about a dog, he was talking about universally. I don't think there's any creature on Earth that would like to be comfortable in its life but be a slave or a servant to some other creature. I think that they all have a spirit and they all want to be free. Even if they have to struggle to be free and maybe even live a lot shorter life, they'd rather be free and live for those moments than to be, caged or whatever. And I also felt that way. I was thinking about Jack London's Call of the Wild, how the dog had such it had such a spirit and wanted to be wild. I don't know exactly how to word that, but it just I felt that it was very appropriate to try and do that with Muffin now. I mean, to try and make it funny and also kind of get its point across, and so that's why I did that.
I got, my personal view is that I got that feeling, you want to break free and not be tied down or caged into something, yet you still want security in life, but yet you want your freedom to go and come as you please?
Yeah, I mean...
There's one thing, why did you bring in the kidnapping of the dog?
Okay, that's actually what I was trying to say a minute ago, and I just couldn't put my words together. Both Buck in the Call of the Wild and Muck in the Last of the Wild had no control over their destiny. Like, we kind of assume that we do, and we think that, especially as Americans, that we really have control over our destiny, and I think to a major degree we do. But like this dog Buck was a farm dog. It had a happy family that loved it and all of that stuff, and it was taken away by somebody. It was sent up to the Yukon in Northern Canada, the Yukon Northwestern Territories. It was beaten and clubbed into submission until it was trained to be a sled dog. And then it was used as a sled dog, and once it was out in the wild, it finally started hearing the wolves, and it decided, this is what I want to do, I want to be free. And in that story, there was this credible conflict between the dog wanting to stay with its master who it loved. This wasn't the same man who beat it into submission. This man really loved Buck, and Buck really loved the man. So the dog was very loyal to this man, but it also wanted to be free. And it had this battle. But a dog can't think like a human. The dog doesn't know why you hit it when it urinates in your house. The dog doesn't know why you only feed it once a day in the morning or whatever. The dog doesn't understand that. With The Last of the Wild, that's what I tried to do. I tried to take a lot of shots from Muffin, or Muck's, perspective. I had a lot of camera angles where the camera was going really low along the floor, and where Muck was looking up into the evil man as he was torturing the dog, and that was all POV thing. The POV means point of view, and the whole idea was to try and let you feel what Muffin's feeling. Muffin has no idea why this man came and took her out of her house and took her in the back of that pickup truck and took her far away and tortured her and made her pull him on his skateboard. Muffin had no idea, and actually you as an audience member had no idea either, because that's what the dog was feeling, and that's why I was trying to get you to feel that.
Dog's point of view. Okay, we have another call.
Great. It's line 1. Yeah, let's try it one more time. There's nothing on line 1. Okay, I'll just pick this up. I'll just try this. Okay, let's try it. Well, there's someone on line 1, but we can't pick it up for some reason. It just is dialing busy. See.
Yellow.
Okay, for those we'd like more callers. For those of you who'd like to call, the number is 846-3400. Why don't we go to the second video, Just Watch. You didn't produce that or write that. I won't ask who it was, but there's Mickey Mouse is used as a symbol in that video. Why, could you tell me why they use that?
I don't know exactly. I know that Kevin Bork, the producer of that film, who was a friend of mine when I was in college in Los Angeles, had a fetish for Mickey Mouse. He loved Mickey Mouse, and I think the reason he picked Mickey Mouse was because everyone thinks of Mickey Mouse as such a sweet, lovable character, and he used to like to kind of undermine that that idea of Mickey Mouse. So I think we have some really violent things happening to Mickey Mouse, and that's basically what he was trying to do, is kind of undermine the image of Mickey Mouse.
Okay, we have another call. Let's see if we can catch them this time. No, we're not getting it.
Okay, wait, what line is it? 2. Okay, it's line 2. So if we hit speaker, we automatically get line 1. I don't know why we get in line 1 automatically, but let's see if we can do it this way. Let's see. Okay, speaker. I think maybe line 1 upstairs might be off the hook, because we're hitting speaker and line 2. We can't get him. Can you ask him what the question is?
Can you ask what the question is? Can you give me the question? Okay. Okay.
One more time.
Thank you. Bye. Bogus Weirdness. I'm getting busy on that.
All right, so what was the...
She said that the show was great, you had a lot of talent, she really likes it.
Thank you for calling.
Great, thanks for your support. I don't know why we're having a problem with that line, but anyways, getting back to that Kevin Bork video, I think, he wanted to really show violence in a very extreme way. So he took animation, which is really light and soft and fluffy, and then he took Mickey Mouse, which is even lighter and softer and fluffy, and he had these incredibly violent things happening to it, and some people find that extremely funny. And I think to me, it's kind of like a question of why do we find that funny? I mean, I think it's kind of interesting like an interesting analysis of human psychology. Why do we think that's funny? Why do we find the Three Stooges funny? I didn't think the Three Stooges were that funny when I was younger, but when I got older, I did start to think they were funnier. And probably
Are you
just
referring
because of the
also to
absurdity.
horror shows, say for Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th?
Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't think they're trying to be funny. I don't think they're trying to be funny necessarily. Whereas there's other shows that are very violent that are trying to be funny, slapstick, and we find it funny. And they've been able to do that for ages. They've been doing that with Commedia dell'arte and even back to the satyr plays during the ancient Greek periods. Why do we find it funny? I don't know, but let's try line 1. Hi, you're on Bogus Weirdness.
I got through, huh?
Yeah.
Incredible. I just want to ask you if you're going to be doing a full-length feature type of a production instead of just shorter shows, like shorter clips.
Yeah, I have a lot of ideas for longer productions, but right now I'm just having a lot of difficulty trying to even get these short productions together. There's a lot of great talent here at WCAT, great producers and great crew people, but there's constantly productions going on here, and it's really difficult. We're kind of caught in this vicious circle. I'd like to work on some other people's shows, but I'm really busy trying to get this happening at once a month, and I think some people would like to work on my show, but they're really busy trying to get their things happening. I mean, there's for example, like during football season, there's a football show every Saturday. I mean, they have to shoot every Saturday and then get it on the air. That takes a lot of manpower and a lot of work. And so when you have shows and you have the selectmen's meetings on Monday nights, and then you have the art association meetings, which are pretty, they have a lot of stuff happening. It's really difficult to do that. I definitely want to put on some longer shows as I go on, but I'm not going to be able to put on longer shows unless I can get more crew and production help. And as a matter of fact, like I was saying, I'm going to try and keep this show going once a month, but that's going to be difficult if I can't get more crew and also more talent. I need talent, like I said before, artists, musicians, all kinds of stuff like that. And I can just produce them. I can go and video them and tape them, and then I can have them on. Like the next show in November, I'm going to have a concert pianist, a contemporary pianist really, a friend of mine who does poetry is going to read some poetry, and I'm going to be starting to branch out and to try and bring in as many other artists as I can, because it's too much for me to do. But to answer your question, yeah, I would like to do longer shows. It's just not feasible right now.
Oh, that's good, because you and Footnote are pretty much the only other shows that you can watch that are like not your typical, they're more offbeat. You get something out of it, it's fun to watch, and if you and Bill hooked up, that'd be quite interesting to see what you guys come up with.
Yeah, actually, I've wanted to collaborate with Bill, and also I want to do some work with some of the other producers around here too. Jeremy D'Entremont always has great shows,
Actually, didn't Bill do some of the shooting with the camera work and some of the videos that you just
Actually, Bill did the
showed?
camera work for Mass Production of Destruction, which was on last month's show, and For Nothing, which was on this month's show. So we've been working a little bit together, and hopefully we'll be working more in the future.
Good, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for anybody else out there who has any ideas, that's what WCAT is here for, so come on down and help out. Is there anything else?
No, we could probably wrap it up. Again, I just wanted to say once more that the whole idea about the show is it's for you artists in the Winthrop community. If you're an artist, if you're a dancer, musician, anything like that, Bogus Weirdness will be on the last Tuesday of every month. And contact me at the end of the show. We're going to run some credits, and then we're going to have actually, I forgot to tell the people upstairs. If the people upstairs are watching this, there's like 30 seconds of black, and then there's a concluding statement, and then there's credits. And I totally forgot to tell you that, so if you're watching, please pick up on that. There are going to be some credits, and then there'll be a number at the end that you can reach me at my home if you're an artist. And if you're a producer, a WCAT producer, you have ideas, crew members, anything like that, I'm looking for people all the time. And other than that, I'm going to try and keep the show going. The November show is going to be on the 27th of November, the last Tuesday of the month. And then the Christmas show, I think, is going to be on the 18th, which is the second to last Tuesday of the month, because Christmas falls on a Tuesday. And I don't want to have the show on a Christmas night, because WCAT, first of all, isn't open. And, well, we can take this call before we wrap it up.
Sure.
And secondly, nobody's going to be watching WCAT or my show or this show on Christmas Day. I'm not going to be. So,
well,
if that's it, we can wrap it up. So.
Okay, well, I wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure you'll do fine. And I guess we'll call it a wrap-up. And for anybody who wants to participate, please call Channel 3 or James. Maybe we might have one more call. Let's see.
Yeah, let's hold off and see if this is a
Okay.
Yeah, line 1?
Line 1. Hi, this is...
I can't believe it.
Oh, are they still there?
Wait. Do you still got him there, Dave?
No.
No.
I think he hung up too quick. I think that's what it is. Well, when's the next show going to be, James? November?
Save your questions. Next show is November 27th. If you can watch, we're going to try and get on it right at 9 o'clock, and we'll have a live call-in segment, and hopefully I'll have a bunch of guests on. I probably won't be on, but if if Aunt Margaret's willing to host again. We'll have a bunch of guests on, artists who are actually on the show will be featured. Hopefully we'll get a bunch of them on, and you can ask the artists direct questions if you want.
Okay, it sounds great. Well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in November. Have a nice night.
Remember to watch Bogus Weirdness next month, 9 p.m., November 27th, when we bring you Debris Dance, featuring Mark Aliberti and Michael Westcott. Keep your eyes open and look around. Oh, cookie! I love cookies. So delicious.
Yeah.